Welcome to this wonderful conference. My name is Dr. Erdal Ozkaya, and today I'm going to talk about cybersecurity for executives. Currently, I'm working at Komodo as a Chief Information Security Officer. I completed multiple degrees, doctorate, master's, bachelor's. Besides that, I authored multiple books as well as certifications. I'm proud to say that some of them get awarded by Books Authority, by Cybersecurity Canon, Cyber Defense Magazine, which makes me really proud and encouraged me to write even more. Today, I got a little surprise for you, and I would like to announce my brand new book for the first time, which is called Cybersecurity Leadership Demystified, which you can gain later. If you'd like to keep in touch with me, you can do it via Twitter, LinkedIn, my blog, Instagram, or YouTube. Please go ahead and subscribe. Anybody who is watching this session and tweets about the session, shares their feedback, is going to get one free ebook. I mean, 5 people, not anybody. I correct myself. 5 winners who gets the most likes and retweets is gonna win choice of their book from mine. All right, let's start. We all know cybersecurity is important. Being a CISO myself, being in the industry more than 20 years, I witnessed many executives still, even in 2021, are resisting to be part of cybersecurity. And today, hopefully after this session, you are not going to resist anymore against cybersecurity. And I hope I'm going to be able to cover everything what you need to know about cybersecurity. We all know cybersecurity is important. And as I said, this session is for executives. If you're an executive, please continue to watch. There is 2 types of organizations. 1, they know they've been hacked. 2, they don't. Going forward, there is going to be 2 types of organizations. 1, they understand the importance of cybersecurity and they take the necessary actions, including top management executive support, and not resist the current attacks. 2, people they're going to resist and face the consequences. Again, let's talk with evidences. Let's look at the news. I'm pretty sure you are fully aware of the quite big recent hacks which just happened. The Cassia, the Capital One, Equifax, Marriott, or most recently, all these ransomware attacks. Just last week, it was in the news. State Department in the US was also hit by hackers. They aim to get your data. They aim to get your identity, your money, your even your PayPal account, which doesn't have any money in it maybe. Why? They can use it for money laundering. If you go and check the dark web, you will see that those are valuable. We are all aware, big organizations, such as Garmin, such as big insurance companies, travel companies, unfortunately getting hit by ransomware. And since 2015, actually 2016, we saw a very big ransomware attack. If you remember 2016-17, the WannaCry. How it happened back then, I used to work for Microsoft, and I visited lots of customers. They're saying, hey, Microsoft, this is your fault. Looking at the attack vector, hey, yes, there was a, NSA was using a vulnerability. Microsoft discovered it. They patched it. And do you know when the first ransomware attack happened? Not 2 hours, not 2 days, not 20 days, exactly 2 months later. Microsoft released a patch. Organizations resisted to implement this patch. As a result, hundreds of companies were hacked with WannaCry. Then NotPetya happened. NotPetya didn't care about ransom. It was a destructive attack. It was there to destroy 60,000 computers. And unfortunately, this happened within 1 hour. Now, looking at the figures, talking about business, this can cost any organization lots of money. When we look at biggest data breaches, the numbers are getting always higher and higher. After Yahoo's 3 billion breach, I thought there's never going to be bigger number because, hey, the world population is not even 10 billion. But if you look at Chem4, based on the figures, as you can see, they had, again, big leakages based on Financial Online. You can see the credit there as well. The numbers are getting higher. So remember, there is two types of organizations. One, they know they've been hacked. Two, they don't. Again, it doesn't matter if you are ultra, if your economy is in the top or you're an average country, you are still a target of hackers. For example, Germany, they received the highest financial malware attacks. No wonder why. When you look at Bangladesh, they received the highest mobile malware infections. You might wonder, malware, why should I use malware? Yes, they can steal the identity, or sometimes they can utilize the power, the power they steal, they own, they hack to launch different attacks. Again, if you look in the industries, unfortunately, there is no industry which is not aimed by hackers. All right. Again, I want you to look into the history, because to be able to predict the future, we have to be able to look at the past. The ones they don't learn from the past is not going to be able to protect the future, as the history, unfortunately, keeps repeating itself. You saw the numbers for ransomwares, and same here. In 2017, the weak passwords were a big attack vector. In 2018, it shifted to people. In 2019, based on Verizon data breach report, it shifted to human error. In 2020, phishing, which is usually always in top 3, took number 1 again. And looking at 2021, it's estimated to reach $6 trillion of damages. So you, as an executive, have to understand one thing. Cybersecurity is costing some organizations up to $190,000 per second. And globally, the number can easily go up to $16.4 billion. Again, based on Finance Online. So all these companies, they thought they had the best security solutions. They thought they had a great team. But one thing, I'm pretty sure they still have a great team, but one thing that they didn't realize was the security landscape. It has changed. We cannot protect today's attacks with yesterday's tools. And it's not just about tools. If you don't invest on humans, if you don't invest on awareness, if you don't invest on yourself, doesn't matter how good your tools are, you cannot prevent cyber attacks. What are those threats? As you know, there is nation-state attacks, which is backed up by governments. There are some script kiddies, which aims, anybody who buys, for example, a book, thinks they're a hacker, and there is organized crimes. Besides that, there is, of course, cyber terrorists, cyber hacktivists, which we can group together. All what they aim is, depending on the hacktivist or activist, they just want to bring you down to awareness. They launch a DDoS attack saying, hey, government acts, you cannot blog, hey, Apple, you cannot sell phones without charges, which is really make me angry, but this is out of topic. They launch an attack against Apple, DDoS attack, bring them down, slow them down. Happened in the past. Or you see some nation states behind SolarWinds, for example, which we talk a little bit later about it, which aims at organizations and any organization using the software, basically by spiderweb. They can aim from public sector to private enterprises to individuals. Honestly, they don't care. But one thing they care is learning about their targets, finding the vulnerabilities, and then learning how their assets are being structured, their data. And you can see all this in ransomware attacks. They do enumeration, they use scanning, they privilege escalations, and then they gain access. Once they gain access, they steal your data. They steal, data can cost lots of money, or they destroy your data. So what can you do? Or you as an executive, are you going to sit down and learn cybersecurity from scratch? Or are you just going to hire someone and delegate everything to that someone, usually a CISO, and assume that you are secure? Unfortunately, things are not that easy. You have to be part of this ongoing process. So again, why should you care about cybersecurity as an executive? First of all, you don't have a choice. The US Securities and Exchange Commission made it very clear recently that as an executive, you have significant consequences, including jail. The National Association of Insurance Commissioners and different other regulators, they make it clear that any cybersecurity model has to have senior management influence approval. We saw in the big cybersecurity attack which happened a couple of years ago on Target or in Equifax that the executive can get punished for not doing so, beside the jail. And boards are removing executive staff for not protecting the company. I have the URLs here. Later, when you download the slides, you can just click on it and you can see these screenshots. I repeat, this can cost even your freedom. So, cybersecurity is not a choice anymore. So, as you don't have a choice, let's see what you need to learn, what you need to track, and what you need to implement, influence as an executive. What do you need to know? That's always a great question to ask. I mean, I usually ask myself, what do I need my listeners to learn from this session? What I want my readers to learn from my book. If I was an executive who has no clue of cybersecurity, yes, I'm an executive, but I'm responsible for cybersecurity, I would ask those questions to myself, which I highly recommend you take notes and ask this. Who would benefit from having access to your organization's information? If you're an executive of a small firm, you might say, who cares about me? But remember, I gave the empty PayPal account, legitimate PayPal accounts example. It's empty, but it's still worth money in dark web because it can be used for money laundering. They can launder money under your name. So what data do you have? Or just imagine a housewife or a father who is retired or someone who doesn't work. You have, let's say, children, and you have one little computer, which is Pentium 4, quite old. Not, it's Windows XP, you just use it for internet. But you have all your child's photos there in that computer. And someone kidnaps that computer, saying that they put a password. And you don't have a backup. And all your memories is in this laptop or computer. What will you do? Will you pay the ransom? Now, do you think this data costs some money? Another question what I would ask myself as an executive is, what would a serious cybersecurity incident cost my organization? Let's say you're a driver. You have a beautiful car. You bought it for X amount of dollars. You hit the wall. You know how much your car costs. You know how much your insurance will pay you. You know, based on your insurance policies, how you can continue to drive going forward. I hope there will be no serious injuries. You might have the option to have a higher car as a replacement, so your driving can continue. You can do something similar in cybersecurity. You can have cyber insurance. It's like having a car insurance. Not everybody hitting the car is going to get the full benefit back. If you're drunk, if you drive the car illegally, maybe you will not going to get the full premium. Same thing applies to cybersecurity. If you don't implement the right cybersecurity defense mechanisms, now you might not get the full premium back from your insurance. So ask yourself, what would a serious cybersecurity incident cost your organization? Happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I received a call from Germany. Old friend of mine, I was born and grew up in Germany, probably noticed this from my accent, called me. He has a small kitchen firm. He has like 3 employees. And honestly, he said, all what I make is every year into my pocket 30,000-40,000 euros. So, which is like 45 to 50,000 US dollars, which is not huge money, but it's great money. He lost his all customer database from last 10 years because there was a ransom and they were demanding just 7 Bitcoins. And my friend called me, hey, it's just 7 Bitcoins. Should I just pay? I asked him, do you know how much a Bitcoin costs? As of this recording, a Bitcoin is around 45,000 US dollars. So 1 Bitcoin is his 1 year net profit. And they asked for 7. Saying that last month in the news, $40 million insurance company was demanded to pay as Bitcoin. So the hackers, they know how big you are. Remember, they look at your assets before they even demand. Another question. Does the organization do the best IT, the best that it can defend itself? One thing that you have to know, does the organization do the best it can do to defend itself? Not IT, sorry, I read my own slide back wrong. As long as you keep in mind, security is a process, not a product, then you might be successful. Unfortunately, again, in my previous life, I met CISOs saying, hey, you know what? We have the best of the best security products. We use Komodo, for example. We are secure. I'm like, yes, Komodo make you secure, but is this 100% security? What about other attack vectors? What about human errors? What about, I can give more and more example. What I'm trying to say is, you cannot just be secure while investing on products. Cybersecurity, as I said, is a strategy which involves products as well as humans, as well as technology together with the product to build a cyber defense strategy ongoing. You, as an executive, have to ask yourself, Does my organization foster a strong cybersecurity culture? Cybersecurity culture? Like you as executive, do you know if you have a CISO or CIO or cybersecurity manager, did you set goals and do you measure them? Are you sure that you are involving the right people? Remember, there's two types of organizations. These eyes, these bodies, so many people, they hire their friends. They hire people they know and not the right talents. Sometimes, they look at the hiring managers, they look at the wrong processes, wrong stuff when they hire. As a result, they get hit. How? I'm going to give you an example very shortly. Do you know the activities that your organization is taking? Or are you just focused on your business because you're a CEO and you have your stakeholders, you have your shareholders, you have your board on your neck, and they ask you for more and more profits? Which is right, they should. But in the meantime, doesn't mean you should not care about physical security or cybersecurity. What did you plan? And did you ensure that what you planned has been executed? One thing I want you to take out of the session, out of everything I spoke so far, keep in mind, cybersecurity is a business risk and not just an IT problem. I repeat, it is a business risk, and you as CEO are responsible, or an executive are responsible of the success of the business. As I said, I want to repeat again, you have to have a technology, you have to have more than just technology implementation. You have to have a risk management process. You have to implement the right technology, right framework. Your mission has to be clear. Your budget has to be set up correctly. If you just use your budget to buy the latest and greatest technology, it's not going to make more secure. Or if you just buy based on Gartner, based on IDC, that's also not good enough. Because don't forget, when you go to a shoe store, you don't just buy a shoe. You look at the shoe that you like, and it's a good idea to test the shoe because, every foot size, even the shoe size, let's say you wear 10, but not every number 10 will fit into your shoe because they might have different cuts. So it's always a good idea to test the shoe, to try it on before you buy it. Same thing applies to cybersecurity. Example, what is the best car that you can think about? Is it a Ferrari? Let's say it's a Ferrari. You have a Ferrari for free. I'm giving it to you. Just tweet at Erdal Ozkaya. You're the winner. Yes, you are the winner of a free Ferrari. But I will give you the car for free, but you are responsible of the maintenance cost. Fair. And my other condition is you have to drive this Ferrari in a desert. Hold on. Ferrari, desert, Ferrari. No, not really, but it's the best car. So this is exactly what I'm trying to say is having the best is not always making you make the tool the best as well. For desert, you need maybe a Toyota Land Cruiser, or any other SUV, which helps, or four-wheel drive, which helps you to drive easier. A Ferrari is not built to drive in a desert. So having the best in a wrong environment is not going to take you much far away. Cybersecurity and data privacies are business issues. By now, I think we agree on that, right? And planning teams need to include more than just technology people. Your HR, your legal, your finance, your IT, your audit, and depends on your organization, your engineering development team has to be part of it. Me as CISO, I used to work in a bank as a regional CISO, Standard Chartered Bank. couple of months ago, I joined technology company, one of the greatest, if you ask me, as the global CISO. Even though the people that I work are cybersecurity professionals and one of the best in the field, I still make sure I meet them. I meet the engineering team, I meet HR, I meet legal team, finance team, the CIO, and I ensure that we have a common goal, which is protecting our business, which is aimed to protect our customers. And you can take this example, put this into your business, no matter what it is. So I hope you don't wonder why anymore. You have to care about cybersecurity. Remember I said SolarWinds. Unfortunately, I have to give the company name here. Here we go. SolarWinds says hack fallout costs at least $23.5 million. And it was like 3-4 months ago in the news. Unfortunately, this is 18 million in US dollars, 23.5 Australian dollars, million dollars. You know, I'm pretty sure the CEO or the CISO, sorry, the CISO never asked for that much budget. The recovery cost, including the customers, could be hundreds of billions customers. And you know what? The CEO blamed, remember I said there's two types of organizations. One, they hire the right talent. The CEO who makes SolarWinds a great company, he brought that company to the next level. But unfortunately, that person, it makes me really angry, blamed the intern to use a password SolarWinds 1, 2, 3. Come on, everybody, like my daughter, 13 years old, my son, 18 years old for sure, they know that a password with the company name and 1, 2, 3 is not secure anymore. That's the first thing which hackers will do. Kevin Mitnick, which made him a famous software engineer, hacker, 25, 30 years ago, hacked Nortel and made fun of having Nortel 1, 2, 3 as password, if I'm not wrong. It was Nortel 1, 2, 3 or Nortel 1, something like this. So if a CEO can blame an intern, there is something for sure wrong here. The attack didn't happen one day. I'm not going to speak technically for the session. I know you're executives and this session is for executives, but the attack didn't happen in one day. Based on the forensic investigation, the threat actor were nearly 1.5 years ago started to get into the organizations. And it took 1 year until they were part of the supply chain. It was a sophisticated attack. And based on Microsoft and FireEye, this was one of the most sophisticated attacks has been seen so far. And it started with a password SolarWinds 1, 2, 3. So the most sophisticated attack started with the password SolarWinds 1, 2, 3. We can talk about this if you want to in another session. You can check my YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure I'm going to talk technically about this as well later. But for this, I'm moving to the next slide. Based on the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report from this year, 2021, cybersecurity is in the top 5 risks that exist globally. Of course, infectious diseases such as COVID is still number 1. Livelihood crisis, extreme weather events, they are much harder to predict and prevent, where cybersecurity events, I think they're not hard to predict anymore. You don't know when it's going to happen. You know that it's going to happen, but you don't know when. And if you don't get prepared for it, it's like having an exam. If you're in high school, you know you're going to have an end of year exam. If you don't study till the exam date, it's unlikely you're going to pass the exam. But if you prepare, do your best, yeah, you might still fail the exam, but at least you will know why. and you can have a lesson learned out of it. The same thing applies to cybersecurity. Of course, I would highly recommend, by now, I think everybody knows that, you should hire a CISO, a Chief Information Security Officer, and delegate cybersecurity management based on this. And if you're going to follow any cybersecurity framework, such as NIST, COVID, or TOGAF, you name it, they're going to recommend you this anyway. You should have an organizational alignment. Your organizational alignment should assign goals. Based on the goals, based on the environment you're in, you have to know like if you're in banking, your organizational governance will be, of course, the central bank and the other banks that you work with, maybe SWIFT. Your organization leadership style has to be defined, your philosophy, your values, your standards, and then you have to align all this with policies to drive information security. Your corporate governance should have information security governance included as much as you have your financial governance. And for this, most of the governance is required to have accountable for cybersecurity. Yes, now you have your accountable. You have your CISO or whatever you name them, her or him. What are you going to look at? As long as you know cybersecurity is a strategic business enabler, as long as you understand the economic drives and impact of cyber risk, you can align cyber risk management with the business needs, and you ensure you design a strategy which supports cybersecurity. You incorporate cybersecurity expertise into the board governance, and you encourage systematic resilience. This will help you to build your cyber resilience organization. You have to understand the cyber risk principles. Repeat after me. Cybersecurity is more than just an IT issue. You cannot just hardwire cyber risk considerations into key operational and strategic decision-making process. You have to also adopt cyber risk as a recurring agenda. You have to look at each major new digital transformation initiative. And COVID was a great example why you need to be digitally aligned, agile. Because in one night, we had to switch from being in the office to work from home. And for this, the board has to you have to determine a board committee with some cybersecurity oversights, where the right cybersecurity analysis has been done. And what is needed, I'm going to cover this very shortly with you. You have to understand the economic drivers and the impact of cyber risk. Remember the 6 questions which you ask yourself? If you know what you're going to lose, if you buy the Ferrari, no, this time you buy your own money, and you don't insure it, most probably, in your first accident, you can be out of business, bankrupt. Depends on, but doesn't matter how rich or how poor you are, no matter what car you buy, insuring it will at least get you the car back into the road, or if it gets right off, they will get you a similar value car. And this applies to cybersecurity as well, as long as you understand it. You have to align cyber risk management with your business needs. You have to be able to critically review the organization business strategy, your digital growth, in context with cybersecurity risk implications. You, as C-suite or an executive, you have to keep an eye on cybersecurity, what is reported to you. This includes the relevant cyber risk, risk ownership alignment, risk management program, and I don't want you to know what is the current patch status or how many % of your Apple computers or Windows environment is not patched. I don't want you to know how many, you have 3,500 antivirus deployed, with port 43 blocked and antivirus is scanning. No, that's not your job. But you have to understand or keep in oversight that there is the protective measures being deployed. And you as management are required to keep an eye on the roadmaps. You have to design an organization that supports, cybersecurity, or cybersecurity should ensure the organizational design has been supported. For that, you have to have regular meetings. You have to invite the accountable executive, could be CISO, him or her, to update you. And on what I'm going to talk shortly about it as well. You have to incorporate cybersecurity expertise into the board governance. Don't forget, cybersecurity is a business issue, and the boards usually talk about business, right? You have to know your resilience and collaborations. You have to know you have to have a high overview of, remember the 6th question I asked in the beginning? You have to know if you go down, when can you come up? You have to have a team to help you to say what went wrong to the media. You have to have a risk-stemming border industry connections. But, you cannot just do it all by yourself. You need partners, even though some partners can bring more risk to you. But in this game, you are not alone. You should define your partners before you start the journey. And if you're already in the journey and you don't have partners, there is many IR partners. Yes, I work for Komodo, but there is many others, Microsoft, you can use FireEye, you can use, there are many other organizations. Please define your partners and go define your vendors, define your third parties, and go to this journey together. To summarize what I said so far, please task your CISO to build a cybersecurity strategy. And now, after this session, you are fully aware that there is no 100% security. All what you can do is ensure there is enough security as necessary. You should ask the CISO, the information security officer, where you at now in terms of security. If anything is missing, how can you support that person to get you to the next level, and how you can get there? A strategy, has multiple components. I'm not going to go and talk all about this, but please later download the slide deck and have a look what you need to do. Don't forget, awareness is a key metric that you have to ask the CISO, what is the awareness? And you, as an executive, if you are not aware of the latest cybersecurity incidents, which is happening in your industry, then this is a good indication that you have a big gap in this metric as well. You can have different defense models, like first line, second line, and third line. As long as you keep an eye, you audit, you control it, you are aligned with the regulators, you are in the right path. Don't forget, the risk is high. Don't forget, there is a domino effect. And once you are in front of the news, it's gonna, if I'm pretty sure you're gonna remember, I think it was late 2019, early 2020, British Airlines had a small incident. 1,000 or 2,000 of their freight and the flyers database, look, out of millions of customers they have, that 2,000, it was a very small number, were affected. Honestly, if they could just pay that 2,000 people, it was going to cost them less on what they went, As soon as this went to the news, the share prices dropped. B, the customers try to go to alternatives. C, they were fined more than, I think, 200 something million dollars. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was a huge number based on GDPR, which is like 3-4% of their revenue. So why not spend maybe 0.1% of your revenue into cybersecurity instead of paying 3-4% of your revenue as fine? Be aware of phishing. Ensure you keep an eye on the metrics. Don't forget, you individually could be also a target, and you are a target. I'm going to talk about it. Be ready. It's going to happen. I don't know when. You don't know when. But when it happens, have a team that is going to say what happened. Be honest. Like FireEye, for example, one of the world cybersecurity firms, were hacked through SolarWinds. And while they did protecting the world, they couldn't protect themselves. It's normal. They were waiting this. They were giving the same message. I really liked how they handled it. They were very transparent. And at the end, they shared everything with the public. As a result, of course, the share prices that get affected, but they were able to recover fast. And there are many other examples. Remember my first or second slide? I just copied it for you again, so you can remember again. Don't forget, you have to be ready. You have to keep an eye. You have to set the bar. And via setting up the basics with the right security controls that you have to sign off, such as ISO 27005, for example, risk management, you can protect yourself, you can protect your organization, and you can protect your customers. If you prepare yourself, if you are aware, you can respond. An example, if you know I'm just about to hit you, you will, you know I'm coming to hit you. You will, and I'm stronger than you. You should either run away or protect your fragile areas, such as your head. Even your eyes, if you have a reflex, you close your eyes, right? So cybersecurity should be like this. You should build the right reflex into your teams. And as a board member, you have to track some metrics. Which metrics is the right metrics? As I said, you should really not care the exact details of your antivirus deployment, but you better care of your cybersecurity program score, your incident summary. These are all related to your brand protection score. You should know the overall volume of data the business generates. And once you give the budget to your CISO, you should always keep an eye return of investments. It's always a good idea to have some third party like penetration testings, auditings maybe, to see, verify what you're doing, not because you don't trust the CISO, but to have an extra set of eyes. Please ensure you are investing on security, training, awareness. It's really, really important. Regularly ensure that even yourself as an executive are forced if you click in a phishing attempt. So then you have to complete a training, and please track them. Ensure your executive CISO or whatever is being empowered to enforce people, even if the CEO clicks in the debate. Be up to date. Patch management. You can use any software you like. Use, some of them are free, some of them are costing money, like Microsoft WSUS software is free. Some of them has also money. Go use one. Ensure you have backup of everything. And please be aware. Be aware personally as well. Know the threats. Know the more you're connected, the bigger the risk is. The better you do, the more attention you take. And some tips for your personal security. You as an executive are a target. Be aware of phishing, as I said. Ensure you have a monitor on your social media as well. I'm not saying don't have social media. I do have it. Remember, I am in every platform except TikTok. I'm everywhere else. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. Ensure that you have an eye there as well, because you will see that you will have some fake profiles, people trying to pretend you. I mean, as an executive, the cybersecurity team should keep an eye for this as well. You personally, as I said earlier, ensure you are aware. You think before you click. Please and please implement MFA. Ensure your CISO implements it for your corporate applications, but you do it for personal applications such as Facebook, WordPress, whatever. You know, it's free. Most of the enterprise applications do support MFA. Use antivirus. Don't say, hey, I'm using a Mac, I'm secure. No. Unfortunately, Mac is a big target, as well as Windows, as well as Linux. You use antivirus as well. So I can talk more about this, but I tried to give you the highlights. Unfortunately, I'm coming to my end of my time. I hope by now you understand why you need cybersecurity. I hope by now you understand what you need to keep track of cybersecurity. And I hope going forward, we're going to meet in a more secure world. Don't forget, we are better together. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I'm really looking forward to get connected with you in social media. These are my contact points. You can reach out to me via social media. And that's it for today. Enjoy the rest of the session. Thank you very much.